So I don't want to say I got scammed, but there was definitely a level of kind of sketchy advertising and a little bit of bait and switch, in my opinion. Hi friends, I'm Sarah, also known as Budget Girl here on the internet, and this is a new video in a series that I like to call 5 Frugal Things, where I talk about around 5 or so recent things that I did with money that either improved my financial state, aka a financial win, or that cost me money, and I admit it on the internet because I don't want you to end up losing money the same way. And also because I want to complain about it and cop that I did something wrong. I've been doing these for like 8 or 9 years on the internet, so if you want to go back and see other ways that I've failed, feel free. I usually don't make the same mistake twice, which is great. So the first one, I wasn't sure that I was going to talk about, but it happened 6 months ago and it's still kind of stuck in my craw. So let's chat about it. So I am a member of a Facebook group called like Women Entrepreneurs and Business Owners, and it's a hyper local group, so just in the area where I live, and it's a really good group. They do meetups. I don't really go to those, but sometimes they advertise for things that I end up going to, like swaps or charity things. And I even found my cleaner for the ag wagon on there, and she is absolutely phenomenal. So I try to support other women in business when I can. And about 6 months ago, I saw an ad on this page, or a post on this page, that was from a local photographer. It had like a graphic that is no longer on the internet, but it had a graphic that said like $100, and apparently in very small letters, off. And it was photo sessions to benefit the local Women's Sexual Assault Resource Center, which I love to support. And I was kind of in a mood where I was like, you know what, I could use some new Budget Girl pictures. This would be a good way to kind of do a 2 birds with 1 stone, get a local photographer, support something that's within my values, etc. So I message her, she sends me the link. So the price is actually $225 with $100 going to the Sexual Assault Resource Center. But her normal price, she says, is $375. But it's still, I'm like, okay, 30-minute photo session. I sign up, I drive 30, 45 minutes out. I actually have to take an afternoon off because the only slots she had available were in the middle of the day, outdoor house, kind of in the country. And she poses me in like 5 different ways. Super cool photographer, was very easy to shoot with her. I even brought some like prop money and a shiny jacket, and then all was fine. And I went off and she got back to me a little bit later with a meeting to go over the images. And then she explained to me that the photo session that I paid $225 for only came with 1 photo. But I was more than welcome to spend $125 more for additional images, which is just so expensive. Now I understand professional photographer and like people need to be compensated for their work. That is not the question here. But the way it was presented in the original contract she sent over, I did go back and look and it said 1 images. So there was like a plural, like there was normally supposed to be more images included. I read it and it felt weird. It seemed more like she meant like 1 session and then I'd receive a few photos from it. And that's on me for not questioning that at the time, 100%. But then she got very mad at me that I wasn't going to purchase more images than just $225 for the apparently 1 that I got. Now, this is the image, and it's a cool image. I'm very happy with it. I haven't used it for anything yet because I'm a little sour about it still. Plus, several hours of my time, I just wouldn't have gone for 1 professional image and, get dressed, roll out there and everything like that. It was like a, hour and a half round trip. And just kind of the way it was presented at every level of the marketing. And she just kind of very much shut down on me when I was like, oh no, I won't be purchasing any additional images at that price. And I'll just take the 1, I guess. This one is the one I like the best. So a lot of this is on me. I would say I will put 90% of this on me because I need to be a better consumer. And considering I'm in like a communications and marketing field and I consider myself fairly savvy, I should know to question along the way and to make sure that I'm willing to pay the price that is presented for a product. That's not on the person, but the way she kind of presented her prices was a little jump around in my opinion. And yeah, not thrilled about that. I'll admit I usually do either shoot myself or I've often just hired a student at the university that I worked at to shoot some images. There are a lot of photographers locally that do, $50, $60, $100 sessions where you get a bunch of images, and many of them are professional. Some of them charge less for for, student level photography, and it just felt very expensive and a little presented oddly. It just wasn't fully transparent about what you would get for the cost at the beginning, in my opinion. So I paid, obviously. I won't be hiring her again, but I didn't leave like a bad review or anything, or it's just, I need you to do better. I would love to know if you think that that is a reasonable price for one photo, supposedly highly discounted, or not. The other photos, by the way, were just very much like just headshots kind of stuff, like belly up or chest up headshot, lean against the wall kind of thing. This was the only one that was a little more involved. So it's like, if I'm gonna pay that much money for it, then I'm gonna try to get something that I can't just shoot myself. So a recent money win is that I saw, as I do basically every year, that my internet price suddenly went up about $30 because the only way we can get internet where I live is through the singular company, Suddenlink/now Optimum, and they have a monopoly on the area. But you can get like a new customer deal, and if you call and complain, they will give you the new customer deal for another 12 months in perpetuity. So I saw I was suddenly being charged, $110 or so for my internet, which is normally closer to $70, $80. And so I called and sat on the customer service line and convinced them to go down on the price for another 12 months. And then I actually put it in my calendar so that next February, I called them ahead of time so that I don't have a month where I pay a premium. That said, it is definitely better than just forgetting about the fact that some of your bills are gonna go up every 12 months or so, like your car insurance. You're basically being punished for staying loyal to a company with some of these things like car insurance, internet, and you just have to kind of add it to your to-do list whenever you have time to go and shop around or argue with them for a better rate. It is not fun, but I would rather do that once a year than spend significantly more money. So I consider it a win, not a fun win, but a win. Also, in the realm of saving money on kind of background costs, I had an account with a company called Acorns, which was good for a while. Anytime I used my debit card, it would essentially round up the amount of money that I spent to the next dollar and deposit that into a savings account, which you could then invest or just kind of let grow in a savings account, kind of a painless way to save money. And it used to be free. They recently changed their platform. I actually don't know how recently, but they changed their platform so that it costs $1 a month as a fee now. And some months I wasn't saving $1. So it was actually costing me more to have that account than it was saving me. So I canceled the account and transferred over the $284 that I'd saved over the past couple of years of having that account and closed it down. So I no longer have to pay that monthly fee. So I do automatically save money. It was kind of a, supposed to be a background thing in my head to just save a little bit extra. It's a cool concept, but if you're charging me $1 a month for it, that negates the entire amount that I was saving some months. So no. And I generally look at all accounts like this around tax time each year. And unfortunately, that's just kind of what happens with a lot of financial companies, especially newer ones. Their fee structures will change and you don't know. They'll send you an email about it, but they also send you emails when they have a birthday. And so who's opening those? Or they change their 10 billion page terms and conditions. So I will be no longer wasting money on that, and I just put the rest of that money into savings. Tricking yourself into saving with different things like that can help, but more often than not, it's really better if you're steering your financial ship that way and not trying to trick yourself into saving money, because sometimes it'll come around and bite you in the butt. Similarly, I had 2 accounts with a financial company called Betterment, and I had actually signed up through a TFD link a while back, and this is why I no longer do any sort of deals with financial companies. I used to have a deal with Ellevest where they were a really great company when they first came out. They were more women-centered investing and it had the same rates as Vanguard, and I encouraged people in my videos. I did some sponsorships with them and encouraged people to sign up, and then all of a sudden they changed their profit structure to a subscription-based model, and they wanted to charge people $10 a month to essentially have accounts with them. And I am so against that, instead of the 0.25% that they were charging before, and like Vanguard and some of the other big companies do. So I immediately canceled all my contracts with them, and I swore I wouldn't do those anymore because I don't want to encourage people to sign up for things that might not behoove them in the future. So anyway, it's not the anti-TFD or anti-me, but anyway, Betterment changed their fee structure. again, and they like are shifting where they're going to charge a subscription or increase fees per month, and now I have to get my money out of there. And these companies make it very hard for you to get your money out of there. I had rolled over an old 401k into there, and I'd either rolled over or I'd started a Roth IRA account in there, and I wasn't contributing anymore. I was just letting them kind of sit and grow, except that when I looked into them, I was like down $1,000+ for the past year. So essentially over this past several years that I've had this account, they lost me money, where my accounts over in like Vanguard have been growing. So yeah, I'm guessing they did need to change their fee structure because the things they were investing in haven't been doing well. So they've been investing my money and losing it for me, but they make it very hard for you to transfer money out. I went through Vanguard and I tried to use a thing called ACATS to pull the money out, and at first Betterment was like, no, rejected. And so I had to go through again. And this is a big, complicated, super annoying process where I had to like chat customer service, which is just a bot, several times, and they're just like, we'll email you back. They did not email me back, but I did eventually, after trying twice, get both of my accounts out of Betterment. So warning for that, and Elevest, and just go with like Fidelity, Vanguard, the other companies that are so big that they can't change their structures ideally at this point. I don't know, maybe they can, but they can't essentially change the terms and conditions on you to where they're just charging you each month. Just go with the giant companies that have been around forever and actually probably aren't going to change their fee structure in an insane way. I have learned my lesson about some of the smaller fin companies. I am considering this a win because I did actually manage to get my accounts out of a company that was going to charge me a leg and a half and was continually losing my money into one that I trust a lot more and that hasn't lost me money. My money in Vanguard has grown year over year. And I, quite frankly, am just proud of myself that I did that because it was annoying and not fun. But I did it, and now my money is in a safer place and I'm not being charged an insane amount by people who are bad at investing. So yeah, check your accounts every once in a while. Make sure you're not being charged a new fee or a subscription or something like that for things that you've been using and holding forever, and it's supposed to be kind of background. You know, that's what these companies all promise is, you know, we'll handle your retirement for you. Most of them are robo-investors and stuff like that. Next up, another fail. So a couple years ago, I left my phone on top of the car when I leaving airport. So that was gone and I had to kind of quickly replace it. I got a Samsung Galaxy A42, something like that. It was about $400 or so. And it honestly was never that great of a phone, but over the past year, it has been, you know, dropping service and kind of glitching out and stuff like that. I don't buy phone warranties. I'm pretty sure it's because I dropped the phone a lot and I didn't buy a good case for it. I just got like kind of a jelly case and dropped it a lot and I think it just kind of screwed it up. I was using a pop socket at the time and that tends to fall out of my hands, and it even corrupted some footage that I needed for work, like as I was trying to transfer footage off. I finally bit the bullet and I bought the new iPhone. So unfortunately I am back to being an iPhone girl. I use a Mac for editing my videos and just as my laptop, and I even use a Mac at work, so it makes it a lot easier to transfer footage from my phone. I also generally need a decent camera because I capture most of my visual stuff on my phone, so I went ahead and bought the new iPhone 14 Pro after doing a little bit of research, and that's just kind of a shot to the gut because I actually like Samsung's better. I feel like they have more capabilities, but just because of the transferability from the computer to the phone and just because of AirDrop, this makes it easier. I don't have to fight with the cords and everything. So that was a big cost I didn't want to spend, and I probably wouldn't have had to spend if one, I hadn't lost my phone the first time because I really liked that phone, and then two, got a better case for my replacement phone. So I did buy a really nice protective case for this, and I am being much more careful with my phone. Not that I wasn't careful before, but I didn't get a pop socket. I have like a ring on the back now that's really on there, and I haven't dropped it since I bought it. So that was a $1,400 lesson to take better care of my things, especially technology. I really hate that I'm back to Apple. And it's not because I hate Apple, it's just because I liked the Samsung phones better. Another fail, I'm usually very good about keeping track of community events that I want to go to and taking advantage of things. So last fall, Jacob and I went to this free photo session thing, and there was a professional photographer there with like a really cute fall setup, and they were taking free fall photos. And we brought Stella, got dressed up, it was really cute, paid an extra $5 for a little Polaroid, and they were having another one a couple weeks ago, and I wrote the date down wrong and I missed it. So that was sad because we had kind of gotten into the habit of every 6 months or so getting a cute free photo, and that was super fun. So we'll have to do it next time, and I'll have to write down the dates correctly. So nothing lost, but sad that I wrote it down wrong. And the final thing is a win. I found a new handyman through a reference from another local real estate friend, and he gave me a fantastic deal on redoing the back bathroom in the duplex. Every time something breaks in the duplex, I try to upgrade it because I'm not planning on living here forever, but I want to always provide a really safe and high quality, nice place for someone to live when I'm renting these out. So I've done that since I bought the place. Anytime something breaks, I improve it. So when the sink faucet next door in the A unit broke, I got a nicer one that had the pull-off handle and sprayer and everything like that. When one of the fixtures in Jacob's bathroom broke, I decided we were just going to fix it entirely. So that tub and shower kit in there was original to the place. This was built back in about 1999 or 2000, and the tub shower looks bad. And I looked into getting it resurfaced, which I actually did on the A side to really, really nice results. It was only about $300 to get the tub and shower sprayed, as in like a nice new clean white coat. It's supposed to last about 5 years or so, and it got rid of all the old kind of like yellow that some of these tub and shower kits do, and it looks beautiful. It was a better option than replacing the whole thing. I could not find someone who would do it for this one. I also could not find someone who would replace this tub and shower either, and this one was in really rough shape. So the new handyman came in, he said he'll redo the whole thing. I found a great deal on the vanity on a Home Depot sale, and that lived in my living room for almost 2 months because there was nowhere else to put it while we were getting on the schedule. Got a great deal on the tub and shower kit by waiting on a sale, and then I actually hired him out to do all of the painting, the pull out, the reinstall, and when we pulled out the old vanity, the tile on the floor hadn't been done all the way to the back. Now, because I was upgrading, the new vanity sat on legs instead of being just the contractor grade kind that goes all the way to the floor. So we had to unfortunately pull out all of the tile and install new tile, but the new bathroom looks lovely, and it cost less than $3,000. Even with the tile, it was a great deal. I did a couple of DIYs for it myself, mostly painting the bathroom cabinet that I had sourced to match the new vanity, and it looks great. It's an upgrade for the whole house, and I did it on budget. So yay to a new handyman that has fair prices. He did it in just a couple of days, and he's actually also come out and serviced the ACs for both units, which needed it, for good prices as well. I do try to DIY a lot of home improvements, but I know when things are above my pay grade, so I've replaced lights and smoke detectors, and I'll paint stuff and I'll replace a faucet here or there. But that bathroom remodel, I completely outsourced it, and I'm glad that I did. That was one of the things that I wanted to do definitely before we move out of this place, which we have no plans to do yet, but before I rent it to anyone else. And it's been on my to-do list of upgrades for this house since I bought the duplex. And while it was expensive, it was money well invested into this place, and I don't regret spending it all. I saved for it, and I consider that a frugal win. I would love to know what frugal wins and fails or money wins and fails you've had recently. Make sure to leave them down below and let other people like me learn from the money mistakes that you've made, because it's not a mistake if you learn from it, or at least it's not a permanent mistake if you learn from it. All right, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell me what you'd like to see in the next video, and I will see you next time.